Sitting in front of his computer, he plays a game called Tower of Trials. Many call it a trash game, an expression that refers to a game that's boring, unbalanced, managed poorly, or absurdly hard. When the game was released, hardcore gamers who took joy in trolling game developers all took a shot at conquering this game. They played 365 days a year without eating or sleeping, figuratively. 3 years later, however, people realized that Tower of Trials was an unbeatable game. Inside the game, it has a practically invincible gate guardian. Polar regions where the temperature is minus 60 degrees Celsius and players freeze to death in less than an hour. A labyrinth that spans over 10,000 kilometers. This game wasn't intended for fun. It was designed to torture the people who play it. Not long after, the game crashed and burned. To be exact, it almost crashed and burned. There were still a few hardcore gamers who stuck around, despite how ridiculously hard it was. One of them is this player, who after 11 long years, barely able to be the one to be first in clearing the Tower of Trials. He found a sense of accomplishment in finding original ways to clear the tower and repeating the stages over and over again until he memorized every aspect. Who would have thought that he would actually clear the last floor? Thinking to himself, he wonders whether to stream it or simply upload it on the video platform. Suddenly, he got a notification thanking him for being a valued player in their game. The additional message says a reboot update is scheduled to take place in 12 hours and wishes him to enjoy the game after the update. This is unexpected for him, wondering whether the company owning the game found some money randomly or something. Because this game makes no profit. Whatever the case is, whether they reboot it or not, this young man has decided not to play this game ever again anyway. Furthermore, he plans to quit his job, which is a streamer by today. He doesn't have a family to support, but he is already 27 years old, so he can't continue to live off 500,000 a month forever. Smiling while looking out his window, he recalls the times when people used to tell him that he was good enough to become a professional fighter, but making money is more important than playing sports. Continuing his routine, he streams with mukbang content where he eats a whole lot of food and chatting, where suddenly a solemn expression came on him as he tried to speak to his audience. But he doesn't have the heart to tell them right at this moment, so he brushes it off with a joke. As he drinks in his stream, he inwardly decides to just post an announcement about him quitting tomorrow. Before long, he woke up with a massive hangover, going to upload the video of him clearing the Tower of Trials. After turning on his computer and going to the website, he surprisingly found a video that shows the Tower of Trials appeared in real life. With every second of the video being played, confusion filled his head more and more, wondering how is this happening, while he knows well that this is the time for the second opening sequence of Tower of Trials after the update. A moment later, this young man receives a notification that looks like that inside the game. It informs him that Tower of Trials rebooted and the first update has been completed. Not only to him, people around the world also receive the same notification, informing them that all players must clear all the tower's floors within 90 days. What devastating news this notification brings is that if they fail, humanity will perish. This young man's name is Kang Kinhyuk. The moment he finished reading the notification, he was determined to keep himself calm. Wearing his jacket, he thought if the Tower of Life has really appeared in real life, he knows he shouldn't be there wasting time. Running through the hall and going down the stairs, he determines to get a specific item. For some reason, that makes his heart racing. Outside the central city, people are panicking trying to either get out of this city or even the country. Only that random girl wearing glasses tells them that the Tower of Trials popped up all over the world. Amidst the chaos, Kinhyuk runs through the people going to an entrance that looks like a bunker entrance. As going in, he irons out his will to step up and not to run away like the others. And he knows on the Korean server, this place is one of the external regions. There are a total of 30 throughout the country, and this one is the nearest to him. At the bottom of the stairs, he arrives at the central underground shopping center. That instant, he got a notification saying that he had arrived at an event area. With a simple glance, he knows that everyone here has played the Tower of Trials. As he makes his way deeper into the shopping center, he realizes how tense everyone is. Understandably, of course, because there's a limited supply of the item that's about to appear here. If they're lucky, there will be 5 of them. While Kinhyuk is deep in his own thoughts, suddenly there's a man calling out his name, giving him a creepy grin. He was Lee Jong-soo, a Paprika TV partner with over 500,000 subscribers. He is also the representative of the company Kinhyuk belongs to. So he asks this wuss whether he should be here since he is supposed to be streaming right now, only for Jong-soo to brush him off, telling him how can he be streaming in these circumstances. Nudging his shoulder towards Kinhyuk, he asks how high Kinhyuk has climbed, adding that he should not keep secrets from his colleagues. Grim rises on his face, recalling how come they can be a colleague. These bastards trick streamers into signing unfair contracts. The more they streamed, the further they fell into debt. Their protests were snuffed out by the company's law firm. In the end, Kinhyuk's colleagues that he was close with, those who started with him from rock bottom, left the company one by one. Grabbing his shoulder, Jong-soo asks about this game information, once more promising that he will give Kinhyuk a better contract. He suddenly headbutts his face, telling this piece of shit to shut up. Kinhyuk felt good to see Jong-soo fall on the ground with his bloodied face and broken tooth. Right at this moment, also the time Kinhyuk waiting for should be coming. Water suddenly rushes up from the water fountain, where a massive tree grows out from it. It's a tree called the Mangrove of Greed. Jinhyuk memories serve him right. There are some fruits blooming from some of its branches. Each appetizing and ripe fruit raises one of the stats of a player, including strength, agility, stamina, and magic. It's certainly a good item, but there are only 4 of them. He and these people gathered here knows, so it's about to get intense in this place. Only a moment later, people start to rush to climb the tree, screaming that it's theirs, shoving and yanking people they compete against. While crouching on the floor, Jong-soo said if they worked together and split the fruit in half, thinking that would be a win for both of them. Now, it's too late since everyone is swarming toward the tree. But Kinhyuk tells this pitiful man to shut up if he doesn't know anything, because it's not time yet. After competing against so many people, one of them is finally able to pick the fruit up. Right after he ate it, his agility increased by 3. Most people don't even know that his fruit exists. But those who have played the game a few times will only focus on eating that fruit. But hardcore gamers enjoy the more perverted, sadistic process that follows. The tree starts wailing its branches around, and people start to remember after all the fruit is eaten, the tree gets really dangerous. While the competing people start running away from the tree, Kinhyuk is walking closer toward it. Not to forget, he speaks to Jong-soo, asking whether he is giving up. Obviously, he refuses to die here for no reason. It is not clear what his purpose is, but Kinhyuk reveals the real reward of this event can only be obtained once all the fruit is eaten. Somehow, Jong-soo is intrigued. So Kinhyuk assures him that is the only reason why he is still staying. In the end, Jong-soo decides to stay, smelling the blood in the water. So he asks what Kinhyuk suggests they should do. Kinhyuk reveals that they must get close to it. Pointing his finger at the tree, he explains if they move one by one, they will be easy targets. Only then does Jong-soo understand that Kinhyuk wants to distract it. Getting ready to run toward it, Kinhyuk reminds Jong-soo that the moment one of them hesitates, it's over. But Jong-soo assures him. He reveals that he played this game for a while as well. As they start running toward it, the tree starts to rumble. The closer Kinhyuk runs toward the tree, the branch starts to whip harder. Between avoiding them, he looked at Jong-soo only to discover that he wasn't running at all. He screams, telling Kinhyuk how idiot he is, claiming there's no way he would listen to someone like Kinhyuk. In return, Kinhyuk feels glad that his personality hasn't changed a bit, because Kinhyuk invited him to stay to become a bait. In that instant, the branches that Kinhyuk evaded go for Jong-soo instead of rooting him. Being powerless and unable to move, watching Kinhyuk's back, he asks for help, only for Kinhyuk to ask why should he help after all of that time, before adding if Jong-soo has a problem with it, he should go ahead and sue him through those hotshot lawyers. Jong-soo is crying, pleading he doesn't want to die like that, only for the swift twine to crush him like a python crushing its prey. Kinhyuk went ahead with his own, looking at the branches going at him. He evaded it skillfully. Some of them collide against each other, while their residual force goes back against it. The branches stroke right into the tree trunk, revealing the heart of the mangrove. He feels confident that things happening exactly the same as what he experienced in the game. Now Kinhyuk knows the only hard part is done. Picking up a broken branch, Kinhyuk pleads to the tree, asking it to stop wearing each other out and to hand over its heart. But after its heart is revealed, the tree becomes more voracious and casts its skill called blood-sucking vine. No matter how seasoned Kinhyuk is, he can't dodge all of these branches. However, using its own branch, Kinhyuk is able to block some while dodging the other bloody branches. Ironing his determination, there's no need for him to lose his never and no reason for him to be afraid, because he already has played this part countless times. With each and every step he takes, the closer Kinhyuk becomes to the tree. At a point after a certain distance has been reached, it triggers the tree to cast Sleep Butterfly, sending them toward anyone that coming its way. Realizing that Kinhyuk immediately tried to cover his mouth. He knows that these monsters sprinkle sleeping powder as a defense mechanism. If one doesn't know how to respond in this sort of situation, one could easily be knocked out by breathing in the powder. But Kinhyuk knows well how simple it is to counter, which is to just hold his breath. Blocking, evading, and running while holding his breath, Kinhyuk swiftly closes his distance with the tree. The moment he got close enough, he thrust the branch in his hand toward the tree. In the next split second, he reaches inside the trunk. Giving it all the strength he can muster, he rips apart the tree's heart as it's wailing in pain. After it was done, the tree split in half. Feeling happy that Kinhyuk spent all of that time studying attack patterns and timing would come in handy, he receives a notification asking him to leave his name in the Hall of Fame. From that moment on, he will be known as Unknown. Reaching his hand inside the trunk again, he gets a yellow marble, the tree essence. Each fruit raises one stat out of strength, agility, and magic by 3 points. This tree essence gives one no less than 12 bonus stats. After eating it, the essence of the tree fills his entire body. Upon opening his status window, he has 12 available points to be allocated. Considering one gets 3 points per level, Kinhyuk becomes the strongest level 1 there can be. As being in the Hall of Fame, the system uploaded the video to the internet. Comments started pouring in. Other than the first few comments, most people were in disbelief. People thought Kinhyuk got lucky or that he cheated. Among them, there is some bigwig trying to recruit him into their force. While it's not easy to defeat the Mangrove of Greed, Kinhyuk ponders whether it was really that amazing. Seeing the offer pouring in, he remembers how hard his life is. Barely earned a living, often late on rent, and had to starve for days at a time to afford food for his streams. If he had received this offer yesterday, he would have accepted it in a heartbeat. But now, he wouldn't reveal what he knows for even 10 billion won. He knows the most important thing right now is information monopoly. On the other hand, he decides his next destination. The moment the game updated, mana leaked out from the Tower of Trials and spread throughout Seoul. It didn't have a significant effect if there was one major difference, but artifacts outside of the tower became relics. In the game, they are not real, of course, but right now there might be a possibility there's some arising. Legendary relics that have powers are inside the tower. The ones outside the tower are replicas or in a way a copied version. Kinhyuk's next destination is the National Museum of Korea in search of these artifacts. This place has countless artifacts, making it a treasure chest of sort. The problem is that Kinhyuk won't be the only one searching for replicas. Unlike the Mangrove of Greed, which appeared in 7 locations around Seoul, there's only one National Museum of Korea. He knows well, people from all over the country will come in search of these relics, and there will definitely be seasoned players among them. The moment Kinhyuk opens the door, an event area notification welcomes him. Not only that, a spine-chilling and desolate air welcomes him. It's not what he thought, thinking that no one is there yet. But a burnt, crispy corpse welcomed him as he went it. Marking the battle for these relics has already begun.